Here I am with Mr. H at the Fireside. He's going to pose a question to me. So, without further ado.
Right, so as we've stated, it's been 8 long years since it was last sat around this fire. And how does it feel to be back? And before you answer, do you feel like it's been like old times?
I actually feel like it's bizarre in the sense of you feel like you've never been away. You feel kind of the same people, but not the same people. I don't mean, but like, nothing has changed, and it's been as enjoyable as it used to be. You know, being out in the nature. I think I've left my shoes off too long, like, but you know, my feet are filthy. I would like Oliver Twist or something, but one of the Waltons or some hillbilly. But yeah, it's been great. So has there been times in your life you've missed the Fireside?
Certainly there has. I mean, you know, the channel that I created, Mr. H's Hot Pot, went from strength to strength. It's been fantastic and that, but I've always enjoyed doing this sort of thing, and I must admit there was times I have gone back and watched the old videos, and I have thought, you know, yeah, we was bloody good there, you know, and it's just a shame as things ended where they did. Really, looking back, I will be honest with you, we should have just taken a bit of a break. I think we was both feeling a bit of burnout with things going on elsewhere in our lives, and if we're honest, we did start running out of subjects, didn't we?
It was shall we talk about this end of the day, you know, perhaps I was in a very dark place 8 years ago with my father dying in front of my eyes, and then I was heavy into conspiracy, so we did get very conspiracy, and I knew at the time that started to bother you at that time because it was too much money. It's a lot to take in.
Oh, it is.
You know, there was that aspect kind of thing, and you know, what happened, and I publicly apologise to you because I've said a lot of terrible things just out of the pure fact. I just felt a bit hurt that you just decided to go do your own thing and you just fuck it all off, you know what I mean? And I just felt a bit kind of...
Where I'm at now, at stage I'm in my life, this was before even I'd become a dad, I had started realising that there are a lot of things in life that, yes, do concern you, but you can't control them. For example, there'll be a lot of people, I mean, you'll have seen it in America when Trump won the election, and you've got these Karens, and they made meme videos of them, and they just went to breakdown. Screaming. And I understand, you know, they were upset they didn't want him in, them personally. But you live in a democratic country where, you know, it's the person who gets the most votes wins. That's how you're brought up. You can't turn around and say, well, you didn't get what I wanted, so therefore, you know, the half full, half empty philosophy should have been, well, he's only in for another 4 years, and yes, he can do a lot of damage, he can wreak a lot of damage, but in 4 years' time, he's gone, and he'll never come back, because we have a system where, in America, where after 2 terms, that's it, you're done. You've spunked your chances. So, you know, I was at that point in my own life where I just thought to myself, I can't control some of these things. I'm not going to worry about them. Yes, they will impact me, but I'll just have to deal with them as best I can. And we did go down a conspiracy theory, and it did get a bit where you was just thinking, why am I worrying about this? I've got other things I need to be getting on with.
Yeah, I think I was more fascinated by it than anything. But you know, it's like I said, it's a great esteem. For one reason or another, it was tired, and
we was tired.
We were tired, you know, and you know, and miraculously, 8 years has gone by and it's still here.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. As I said to you off camera, Jimmy, there was going to come a point if we'd have just carried on this silly Cold War, for want of a better reason. And you know, you'd score the odd point off putting a video on technical segment, because human nature is people will come onto that video and watch it for the drama. What those sort of people are is they're the sort of people that, you remember when you was at school and 2 lads would be having handbags at dawn, they'd be running round going, fight, fight, fight. You know, you'll have had it with other individuals that you've had disagreements with.
I mean, you know what? Hello, Barry Titler. I mean, we've kissed and made up online. You know what I mean? But we were probably some of the first to do it. You know what I mean? One of them online call out things where we were challenging each other and whatnot. But now the internet's awash with it, and it gets so many views because that people want drama, because drama creates dopamine, and people get excited and they work themselves up in a frenzy. What's he going to say to him next? Supposing he beats. Oh, I've got to watch. And it's like they're glued, and that's what people want in it, you know.
Well, I will say this, right, while we're discussing this and we're being open. That's what had happened with us and Barry. I'll be honest, and I'm not trying to give the Nuremberg defence here. My loyalty was always to you as my friend. So when I didn't know Barry from Adam, and obviously once you'd already got a thing ongoing with him, and
we'd had a spat on that.
You'd had a spat online, so naturally I was in your court with that and in your corner. Whether or not I fired first shot or Barry did, I'll say I fired it first. I got involved and I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
I then, as we was running out of steam, wanted to do my own thing.
And I remember, it's funny now actually thinking back of it. I saw you commenting on Barry's videos, and I said, "Is that you?" And I think at first you said, "No, it's not." But then it transpired it was, and I just felt, I felt betrayed and all that. But then I said, okay, we'll work past this. But are you going to do more videos with me? And I think at the time you was like, I thought you wanted to start your new voyage, and he said, I will, but I'm not doing conspiracy. And I just said, fuck it then.
I understand.
And then I just felt a bit fucking hurt, and I went off on one for a while. And but it doesn't give me an excuse. I've said some nasty things all the time. And
what happened was,
I'm sorry for it.
What happened, mate? He did comment on one of my videos, and I commented back, and I then thought, actually, I'll do what I should have done in first place and watch one of his videos. And I logged on to one what he'd done at Fred Dibner's old house. At the time, they'd just turned Fred Dibner's house into a museum.
Okay.
He got in with a bloke called Leon Posner. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologise, Leon, if I've pronounced it wrong. And I met the guy years after when I did my own video there. And he went down the mine shaft as Fred had dug in his back garden. It's about 70 foot or something. Barry went down eating a pie or something, and fair play to him going down there. I've looked down the thing and it's bloody claustrophobic, mate. Anyway, I thought, not bad that. And I watched another one, which was the one as he did about, lions, the old highwaymen.
Okay.
And I thought, they're not bad. Now, not every video was a banger, but I thought, really, I've just judged a book by its cover. I've been wrong here. And then what I tried to do, Jimmy, I tried, especially as he left messages on mine, I tried a bit hard to backpedal.
Yeah, it's kind of like you got involved in somebody else's war, didn't you, really?
Exactly, and I should have just kept out of it. And I've learned my lesson with it at the end of the day,
I mean, like, I've made up with Barry. We've spoke about this. There was a shit hot live stream we did. Martin Redding, hello Martin Redding, me, Barry, and we opened up and we said, Luke, I was fucking obsessed with you. I used to watch everything you did, and you used to watch everything I did. And in a way, there's that saying, bitch, you're not a hater, you're a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that was, I mean, and I think we're cool now. We're all right, I hope, and we all grow up. You know what I mean? Leave it to the kids to fucking be falling out and shithousing and all these gangster fake knobheads on the internet.
Let's be honest. There's no. I mean, you're 52, 53, getting to 53.
Knocking on 53.
I'm 51. I think is Barry 50 this time? He's younger than me.
I think he's 4 years younger than me, so
he will be coming up to 50. He's around that age.
Yeah, I think.
But what I'm trying to say is, it just doesn't. It's not a good look, is it? Old men at fucking dawn falling out.
No, I mean,
he gave me some stick at the end of the day. I'd done it here around this fireside. So at the end of the day, he was sort of entitled to do that. I
mean, you've done all right in life. He's done all right in life. He had the fucking balls to leave Wigan with nothing, and he's built a life for himself. So I salute.
Yeah, no, I do all that. I will be honest.
I mean, I stayed in Wigan. It's like Billy Lyer. Billy Lyer in the film. He gets on that train, got London with that fucking woman. He says, "Oh, I need some milk from vending machine," and he runs off that milk and train goes to London. And
if you remember, I said to you, he'll be back within a month, and you proved us wrong. So fair
Yeah,
play to you.
fair play, Mr. Tittler. But yeah, so you know what, it is.
That's where it come from, and I understand you felt hurt and stuff about it, but I think at time, like I said, we've been repeating ourselves on videos, and I just needed a break from it, and perhaps I didn't know it right way for it come to you and actually say, look, I think we need to knock this on head for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, as well, like you said, things happen for a reason. But the weird thing is that there is a small, hardcore group of people who never left the Fireside. I can think of Peter Boothroyd. I can think of Jamie Topping,
Midwest Prepper,
Michael Jones, Midwest Prepper. Please forgive me, anyone who I'm omitted to.
Jamie Topping and all that.
Yeah, Jamie Topping. I'm trying to think of other people off the top of my head. Padge Guitar. There was quite a few people who dug this, what we were doing, and you know what? It's a weird thing where you might have somebody who lives in a high-rise block of fucking flats. It's like, have you seen them videos where you can turn it on and it's a coal fire?
Yeah.
In a way, it might be like, I've always wanted to. Whoever's watching us do this joins us at the Fireside, and they're sat with us. It's like they're sat over there. I just sat over there. Just they're sat around the fire with us, and they're in the woods with us. And you know, and I think that for me can be the only thing that one of the things that draws people in is it's not in a fucking podcast studio. You know what I mean? It's not with, you know, with foam all over the walls and shit, and it's just real, it's authentic, and the camera work ain't the fucking best.
Well, in some cases, it's just a green screen. They just got a green screen at back of them. I don't know when you did your live streams, what you used to use, whether you did have a studio or whatever.
Fucking dirty living room.
It just becomes, you know, it's a sterile thing, a studio, where this is a natural nature studio, and I think people just get that and just dig it. But yeah, I'm really pleased to be back, you know. End of the day, it's up to the people who watch these videos. You know, they may come back and say, you're not as good as you once was, but you can't. You've got to evolve and you've got to change. You can never stay the same.
You might get somebody saying, I prefer their earlier work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I prefer the first album. But
Yeah.
it is what it is, and all you can do is be on your journey. And people can follow you on your journey, or they can get off on the next stop or something. You know?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, we're going to go older. We're never going to get younger. We'll never stay at the ages we once was. That is the thing with. I think it was Arthur Law once said it, and he said I used to get people come up to me and they'd say, "Oh, you've gone old." He says, and that's because they see you set, frozen in time, watching a television show. He says, and you know, we're not that.
Peter Boothroyd says we look younger, so anyway.
Perhaps we're just on a high of being back around the Fireside. So.
And the adrenochrome helps since we signed up to the Illuminati.
No, and filters. No, we're not using filters.
To this music, exactly. Everybody, anyway, thank you for watching. 13 minutes. This is so far as a record video.
It is, and it's just good to be back. And I hope we've the question is always going to be asked, why did you fall out? And I hope we've answered that. It was just simply, it had had its time at that time, but now we're back, and hopefully we'll be bringing you many more Firesides.
Exactly. Like, share, subscribe, please. Thank you very much.